do my speech today on why I feel like we should drug test welfare participants. And some of you have probably been sitting at work and all of a sudden you have your HR representative come up to you and say, today's your lucky day, you won the lottery. And you look at them like, what do you mean I won the lottery? That means you need to go pee in a cup. A lot of us have to submit a drug test before we get hired, and then we have to have random drug testing throughout our employment. Welfare participants do not have to do that in most states, and do we think that's fair? A lot of us don't think that's fair. And in most companies, in order for you to maintain your employment, you have to submit to a random drug test. Some of the states that are out there today, they do require drug tests for welfare participants in order for them to stay on benefits such as WIC, food stamps, TANF, things of that nature. So what we're going to look at today is some of the states that currently participate in drug testing, some of the states that for convicted felons that are required to do the drug testing, and then we will talk about why I personally feel like we should do random drug testing. This is a map of the states that do drug testing. This is in 2012, and for the TANF, SNAP, Medicaid, food stamps, things of that nature. And as of February 2015, and this information I got is from the National Conference of State Legislatures, there were 14 states that have proposed the legislation in some type of form of drug testing, whether it had passed or if it was in the process. Hawaii was currently studying the issue, and as you can see, Connecticut, Illinois, Iowa, Kentucky, Minnesota, Mississippi, Montana, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Texas, and West Virginia. At least 12 of the states have passed legislation regarding drug testing. As you can see, Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Utah, Kansas, Michigan, Mississippi, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Tennessee began this program in 2014. Florida became halting the state, saying that it violated constitutional protection against unreasonable searches. And again, this information came from the National Conference of State Legislation website. The drug testing for convicted felons, only 5 states participate in this. That's Maine, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Wisconsin. The cost of drug testing, as you can see in these states, they did an estimate, and this is just estimated numbers. I'm only going to go through a couple of them. As you can see, there's a large number of participants that they use, and a very low number tested positive. Out of 38,970, only 48 tested positive. That's a very good number for anyone to test positive out of a drug test when you're using that many people. The cost is very high, but if you think about it, when you're at an employment and you're working for someone, an employer has to pay a reasonable expense out of that as well. And as you can see, Kansas, Mississippi, they only had 2 people test positive. So, in my opinion, and these numbers came out of Think Progress website, and this was a pretty recent survey. This was in February of 2015. Even though those numbers are low as far as the testing numbers and the dollar amount is pretty high, it's pretty well worth it. If you're going to have a low number and you're going to reap the benefits, and those numbers are what we are paying for. Those tax dollars that we pay for, that we work for, are, paying for people who are not working, that are using our benefits, that are reaping the benefits that are utilized, welfare, unemployment, food stamps, WIC, to help them, whether they're taking advantage of it, whether they're actually using it. We have to go to work, we have to put our 40 hours in, we have to work for the living. If these people are not going to actually use those benefits, and if this is the little bit of cost that they have to do, I think it's worth the benefit of us allowing people who are going to use what we have to pay for in order to be drug tested as well. So with that being said, in conclusion, I think, having the cost of drug testing, it might be, some money that we have to spend, but if they feel like that that's what they have to do in order to get the benefits that they're going to use out of this, I think it's well worth it. If we have to do it as an honest working person, I think that the people that are not actually going to be working for it and still reap the benefits of it should have to do the same thing as well.
Do you have enough time, Doug?